officially sold my app for $200,000, I got the money on my account.
This is me, back in July 2024. And the startup I sold, I created it in only 1 week and worked on it for less than a year. I documented the whole process from the moment I got the idea, found my first customers, up to the final sale. So if you're ready, take a seat and let's go back in time 2 years ago.
So it's just me and my laptop.
After selling my previous startup for $65,000, I took some time off to rest. The danger of running out of money in the next few months was gone, but since I sold my main source of income, I didn't have income anymore. So I couldn't stay like that and do nothing forever, or I would run out of money eventually. So it was time to get back to work to create a new source of income. Now, you know the saying, if something is not broken, don't fix it. I just had to repeat exactly what I did with my previous startup. Find an idea, build it quickly, and make money. My goal was to make a startup I could grow mainly using Facebook advertising, since I have 7 years of experience in advertising. Oh, but Facebook is dead, only boomers use it, I don't even go there anymore. Remember, it's not because you do something that everyone does. But why Facebook ads? Simple. Ads on Facebook can reach a massive audience very quickly. And unlike Google Ads, where you are limited by the number of people looking for a specific keyword, Facebook ads let you reach pretty much anyone in the world. But there is one crucial requirement for this to work. If the audience is too small or cannot clearly be identified, Facebook might have a hard time finding customers. With that in mind, it was just a matter of finding the right idea. How do you pronounce idea? With that in mind, it was just a matter of finding the right idea. I was trying to write something on a Google Docs when I noticed a transcription button. So I tried it and...
Yep, that was shit.
I tried multiple times, started to get frustrated and was ready to give up. But then I realized, surely I wasn't the only one who was too lazy to type and would prefer to speak instead. Which means that could be a startup idea. And perfect timing, some new AI models for audio transcription were released a few months earlier, so I could just use that. And even better, this idea fits all the criteria of a good startup idea. It provides value because it helps do something faster. It has a large scale. Everyone wants to write faster. I did have the technical skills to do it, and I had distribution with ads. So, without waiting, I went to work. I set myself a deadline of 1 week to code the app. And after 1 week, it's impossible, you need months to launch a startup. You, my friend, are wrong. Now, let's be real. Failure is a norm in startups. 99% of new startups fail. So we are going to assume your idea, as good as it is, will fail. Now, if you knew your idea will fail, would you still spend 4 months working on it? When you launch a new startup, there is only one thing that matters. Figuring out as early as possible if people would be willing to pay for it. And having short deadlines forces you to focus on the essential. Until you have proof that people are willing to pay for your product, nothing else matters. So, make a first version with only the essential features, then, if it works, add more. Or simply said, don't fix bugs if there is no customers to experience them. So after a week of grinding, I had my first version ready and it was now time to find a name. It's a website to make notes by talking. So I called it Talk Notes. Yeah, creativity was never my strength. Now, I have a general rule of never spending more than what a project generates. So paid ads would have to wait a little bit until I got revenue first. But how can I generate revenue without ads then? Startup directories are websites that showcase new startups. People visiting those websites are what we call early adopters. They actively search for new tech products to try them before everyone else. So when you have a new product that's a bit innovative, it's a great place to get started. So I spent 2 hours looking where similar startups were listed and added mine everywhere I could. And it worked. I got a little bit of traffic from those directories and even made $700 of sales in a couple of days. Sure, it's not a life-changing amount, but it was just enough to show me this idea had potential and to focus all in. However, after a few weeks, the sales slowed down until the point where they stopped completely. So, what happened? Well, you see, a launch is an event,
You will get a spike of traffic, but eventually it will die down. The only way to fix this is to have a long-term distribution strategy like SEO, paid ads, direct outreach, etc. Or simply said, a way to get people visiting your website every day. Problem was, the website was still not generating enough revenue to reinvest in ads, and I wasn't really good with other distribution channels. So guess what I did? Well, truth is, I had no idea what to do, and because of that, I got depressed and almost completely gave up on the project. And I feel that's something no one talks about on YouTube or online. Sometimes it just sucks and you will feel like shit. And unfortunately, that's just entrepreneurship. Not everyone will make it. At least one thing was clear. If I wanted this project to go anywhere, I had to figure out a way to get consistent revenues. The first thing I did was to switch to a subscription model where people pay every month to access and use the app. That would make revenue more predictable. To find new users, I tried different things, like ranking higher on Google, sending direct email to the potential customers, and more. While I got some result from it, it was still very slow. But I had one card I didn't use yet. And if you saw my previous video, you can probably guess what it is.
Hey, Nico from the present here, because yeah, I actually recorded this video 6 months ago. I just wanted to add a quick disclaimer. I'm going to talk about Product Hunt, but lots of things changed with Product Hunt since this video was recorded. To keep it simple, you probably won't get featured, but you still get a backlink. So it's still worth it to launch there, but you probably won't get featured and get like a big spike of traffic and all that. So yeah, just a quick disclaimer. Yeah, that's it. Back to the video.
Product Hunt is a website where new tech products compete against each other every day to get upvotes. It's basically a startup directories, except it got millions of visitors per month and lots of journalists go there to write articles about new tech products. It's a great way to bring a bit of revenue and boost the morale on the short term, which in return help you work on the project for the long term. So I listed my startup on Product Hunt, got lots of upvotes, even a Product of the Day award, and got lots of traffic from that. And thanks to the media coverage after the launch, the app quickly grew to 1,500 of monthly recurring subscriptions. Since I now had some predictable revenue, I decided to start ads. And even if the results were not incredible at first, I still managed to get a few sales every day. The hardest was done. My startup was generating consistent revenue every month, and I could now try to scale it. Now, growing a startup is a lot of trial and error. You need to try things, see what works, and do more of that. But that takes lots of work and energy, so I needed to focus. And I had the perfect solution for that. In May 2022, I locked myself in a hotel room for 2 months to learn how to code. This is what I call monk mode. The principle is simple. Find a place comfortable enough so you can stay inside for weeks, organize your routine so you don't waste any time, and grind all day. It's simple, but it worked for me. I went from zero to be able to code fully working website in just 2 months. So it was time to do that again. I found a nice apartment, took from my savings and paid 6 months upfront, and then prepared for the grind.
So right now, my app is making 3,000 of monthly recurring revenue, but I think I can do better than that. I think I can push my app to 5,000 to 10,000 of monthly recurring revenue before selling it for a way better price. So yeah, that's basically what I'm going to try to achieve during those 6 months. So I will do everything I can to grow my app. Doesn't matter what it takes. I'm just here. I don't have anything else, just pure focus. My girlfriend just left back to the US, so we're going to spend long distance for some time. So it's just me and my laptop.
The place I found had a gym in the building, and I found a healthy meal service delivery nearby. With this system in place, I could optimize my routine to the extreme and never leave my building, which is exactly what I needed. At first, it was hard to choose what to focus on because there was just so many things to do. But after testing a few things, I finally found the trick that allowed me to double my revenues. Imagine this. You have an online store that sells pet supplies. Now, you want to run ads to attract new customers. What's the best move? Instead of making generic ads, focus on a specific customer group. For example, create an ad specifically for corgi owners. You will reach less people, but you can be sure that a corgi owner seeing an ad asking, "Are you a corgi owner?" will read it, simply because it's made specifically for them and it's not generic, which will generate more sales. Quality over quantity. So I decided to do that for my startup and started making ads and landing pages for specific audiences. And after a few weeks of testing, my website started to generate more revenues, way more revenues. Between the revenue made for the monthly subscriptions and users who paid 1 year upfront, I started to generate over $10,000 of sales per month. I even allowed myself to take a small break in Korea to meet friends. Everything was great, but have you ever heard of Murphy's Law?
Everything that can go wrong will go wrong, and at the worst possible time.
On April 16, in the middle of the night, a bug happened on my website and made it completely unusable. And when I woke up,
Saw that the sales were completely down 70% because of the fucking bug that slipped last night when I was asleep, and then I noticed there was another issue, and then another one, and it just doesn't fucking stop the whole fucking day. I spent 7 hours straight trying to fix one bug, and I just could not. It was not working. I don't want to deal with that shit anymore.
I received over 50 emails from customers complaining, sales were down 70%, and people started to cancel the subscriptions. It lasted for 2 days before I was able to fix it, during which I barely got any sleep. But when I tried to get back to work, something was wrong. It's like my motivation was drained. I couldn't do anything at all. So I waited a few more days and waited until I realized
I just cannot work on it anymore. I'm like way too, I don't know, burned out, I guess. I can work 20 minutes and then I cannot. It's just too hard. I cannot focus on stuff.
it would take much longer to recover from that and be able to work on this project again, if ever. But not working on it for months was not an option. The AI space moved incredibly fast, and in just 1 month, you can become completely irrelevant. So the two solutions were to either hire someone to manage the website for me or to sell it. Hiring someone would allow me to take time off, but finding the right person would be another headache I didn't want it to deal with. So there was only one option: to sell it. From my calculations, my startup could be worth up to $300,000. But there was an obvious problem. I didn't have 6 to 10 months. Due to the burnout, working on this project was not an option. And if I waited, it would eventually stop growing and lose its value. The conclusion was simple. I had to sell in the next few weeks or I could be left with nothing. I got on a call with Ebony from Acquire, which gave me tips to get the best outcome considering my situation. So I decided to price my startup at $200,000 to make sure it would be a good deal for the buyer, to get full cash, and to sell it fast. I quickly got my first formal offer for $200,000 and the buyer was fine to pay cash and in the next few weeks. And after a few weeks of waiting, I received the Asset Purchase Agreement, called APA.
So this is the Asset Purchase Agreement, which means once this is signed, the sale is done and it's now just about transferring the actual things. I don't know what to say, I'm just really excited. Okay, this is done.
And just like that, my startup was officially sold. But it wasn't over. We might have signed a piece of virtual paper, but I still had to transfer everything and receive the $200,000. Now, to make sure everything would be transferred safely, we decided to use a middleman, escrow.com. And as you are about to see, things would go terribly wrong.
So the buyer sent the money to the middleman, to escrow. So now it's just about we transfer everything. So I'm going to transfer them the domain name, everything basically, which should be tomorrow. And after that, the transaction is complete, and I get my money. So this is great. It's 10 p.m. and I just received a message from the middleman, escrow, who just said that they did not want to send me the money because I use Wise, but obviously like Wise is literally on their options, like it's literally said, yeah, you can receive your money from Wise. I'm not sure if everything is going to have to be cancelled. I don't know how it's going to work, because the buyer can only do the transfer tomorrow. After that, he won't be available for like a long time. This is fucking bullshit. Like, I literally used Wise last time, using them, so I don't know if they're lying or whatever, but they just don't want to send me the money.
Apparently it's because I only had the Wise account for this company and they don't accept Wise, but their website clearly says they accept Wise. So I'm not really sure what happened. Opening a new bank account could take months, so this was out of the equation. And after trying to negotiate with them and threaten them, it was clear we had to cancel everything and restart from scratch. This would take at least a few more weeks for the buyer to get refunded and could potentially ruin the whole thing if the buyer just ran out of patience. Luckily for me, the buyer still wanted to continue the acquisition. This time, instead of using a middleman, we would do everything manually. But even if I trusted the buyer, there was still a risk he would not send me the money after I transferred everything. But I had no choice, so I did it anyway. The only thing left now was for the buyer to get refunded by the middleman and then get my $200,000 after transferring everything. But as you can probably guess by the time left in this video, it didn't work as planned.
Hey, so it's been a week more now waiting for the refund from the middleman escrow. It's just more and more waiting. Like, honestly, like, mentally, I feel depressed as fuck. I probably said that like 20 times already, but yeah, the waiting is fucking killing me. I just hate that. I'm not going to say, you know, it's hard, because it's not like I was working in a factory or, you know, some like like manual work, but it just pissed me off. It just really fucking pissed me off. But apparently the buyers received the refund back, so it means that it's like early next week we should be able to finalize everything. Turns out, escrow lied about the refund. So the money never reached my buyer's bank account. They lied. They said it was sent, it was processed, but no, it's not. My buyer contacted his bank. The bank said no, we didn't receive anything. So they are fucking lying.
And after contacting them and threatening them for almost 2 weeks, we had the refund done. Now the buyer had the money back, it was time to transfer everything. And again, things started to go wrong.
So yeah, we need to find a way to transfer Stripe, and of course the support have absolutely no fucking clue how to do it. We called them, the person was like, oh yeah, I don't know how it works, so that's great. So we need a special team, which obviously take a week to answer.
The most critical part of the transfer was Stripe, the platform to handle monthly subscriptions. But there was no easy way to transfer subscriptions from an account to the other, so we would have to delay more. But luckily, the buyer found a startup that could do it. It costed him $3,000 for 1 hour of work from them, but it worked. And it saved us a day of manual work, so it was worth it at the end. With the transfer done, the only thing left was to receive my $200,000 on my bank account. And guess what? Alright, so finally, I officially sold my app for $200,000. I got the money on my account. So yeah, I hope you will be able to see it, but yeah, $200,000 minus some of the bank fee. So the money just came in. I was going to bed like right before I was, okay, I'm going to just turn off the light, go to sleep. I just checked, I refreshed, and the money was, it was here. So, oh my god, that's fucking surrealistic. I don't know, I'm not really good at, expressing stuff, but I'm really fucking happy. I can retire in Asia if I wanted to. Like, I can live in Bali or even in Thailand or anywhere for like forever, basically. Of course, there will be some taxes and stuff like that, but the amount is still super high compared to what I'm used to. Oh, fucking hell, this is insane. Yeah. Actually, I don't know what to say. I'm just really happy. I'm really happy that this is finally done. I'm really happy that I can move on. With this acquisition, plus the sales I made from my other projects, I now have around $300,000 in my bank account, which is 30% of being a millionaire. Nice. I might still be burned out, but at least I have a shitload of money on my bank account now. That is before coming back to work because I just sold my main source of income again. But spoilers, I already have a new startup that generates revenue already. And this is because I have a good process to find new startup ideas. And if you want to know how, watch this video.